everyone, and welcome to episode number 86 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. Today is Saturday, November 6th, 2021, and it's a gorgeous autumn day. Absolutely gorgeous autumn day. It's probably only in the 40s, maybe low 50s Fahrenheit. Bright, sunny, beautiful blue skies out there. Gorgeous day. Gorgeous, gorgeous day out there. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy to have you here with me. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to and what I've accomplished in this past week. I'm so happy to have you here again. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, that would be amazing. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Hit the little notification bell so you get a reminder whenever I post a new video, which is typically every Saturday. And it'd be fantastic if you liked this video. Comment down below and carry on a conversation. I love seeing comments from everyone down below. Any information on projects I'm working on, I will have that linked down below. The weather's getting cooler. I'm back to drinking tea. This is one of my favorite cups. It's just loaded with all kinds of cats. It's one of my favorite cups. And today I am drinking the red rose tea decaf. It's called cinnamon streusel. It's so yummy. It is so good. There's a light cinnamon taste to it. It's good. It's a really nice tea. It's a decaf. I'm not really too keen on drinking anything too caffeinated this time of day. It's mid-afternoon and I don't need any caffeine this late in the day or I'll be up half the night. But it's a really nice tea. I really enjoy it. I think a friend of mine gave it to me, a little box of it to me for Christmas one year. I love it. I don't drink it often, but it's a really nice tea that I really enjoy drinking. So let's get on to the knitting content this week. I've got a fair bit done. I'm really happy with my progress on 3 projects this week. Last week it was only 2. But this week I have progress on three projects. I have a finished object and I've made decent progress on one and a little bit of progress on the other one. So my finished object is my Ross hat. And last time I showed you I was at the point where the little yellow marker is. So I finished up the last little bit and then did the decreases for the crown. There's nice decreases on this and I like it. I'll mess up my hair. I'm not sure how well it'll fit because I got this little bun thingy up in the top of my hair. Might not. There you go. I like it. It's a nice fitting hat. I quite like it. And we have a finished object for the week. And now my hair is all mossed up. It doesn't take much to make my hair look ridiculous. Oh well. This part, yeah, it's yeah. Whatever's happening back there can just keep happening back there. But there we have it. So this is the Ross hat. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Ross Rochester. And the pattern is really neat. It gives you different needle sizes and numbers of stitches to cast on if you're using fingering sport DK or worsted weight yarn. So there she is. I have a finished object this week. The yarn I used for that was some stuff I got from Martin's. It's a surplus store in Maine that I picked up when I lived back there. And it's a Gala mix fiber. It's a polyester nylon combination. I used 1.5 skeins of it, roughly 1.5 skeins. I think it was about 77 or I think it's 77 grams I used altogether of that yarn. And the yarn, I would put it at probably a sport, heavy sport, light worsted weight yarn. Maybe a worsted weight. I'm not quite sure. It's not, I can't find an awful lot of information about it online. So that's my finished object. So I'm really happy with that. I enjoy working on hats here and there because they're nice quick knit, even though I showed this to you over three different episodes. But it is honestly, it's a fairly quick knit. And other work in progress are my Halloween sort of shorty vanilla socks. Yeah, I did say Halloween. And I know it's November. But this was the yarn I dyed myself. It's mostly the white with purple and orange parts to it. And when I saw you last, I had done the leg was finished, so it's not a long sock. So from where the heel flap starts, it's only about 3 or 4 inches up the leg. I like a shorter sock because I have a pudgy leg. I had done the heel flap, heel turn, the gusset decreasing, and I had got to where this stitch marker, you can't see it, where the stitch marker is here. So I've added about 10 rows to it. Haven't done a lot on it. I wanted something really mindless to work on one evening when we were watching TV, and I didn't have a lot of time. I was at a more complicated part in Shawlography. I just didn't have the brain space to work on that while we were watching TV, so I just pulled out my Halloween socks and worked on those for an hour or so while we were watching TV. So I hadn't worked on these for a while. I had really hoped to have them done for Halloween. As you see, we'll aim for Halloween 2022. There we go. Hopefully they'll be ready by then. But they're cute sock, and maybe I'm an oddball. I enjoy the pooling and flashing of these kind of yarns. I like it. Maybe I'm weird that way. Whatever. I get a kick out of that. So the yarn I'm using is, it was a bare yarn I dyed myself, and just using an orange and purple. And this is what it comes out looking like. I'm not using a specific pattern for this particular sock. It's a basic vanilla type pattern where I'm doing a 2x2 ribbing all the way down the leg. And then once I got to, it has just a standard slip stitch heel flap, standard heel turn, just your typical vanilla gusset decreasing. I'm doing just a plain stockingette on the bottom of the sock, and I'm continuing with the 2x2 ribbing down the front or down the top of the foot. So hopefully I'll have them done for next Halloween. But these are my go-to now for something where I just want something that's simple, quick, and easy to work on and doesn't require a lot of brain space. So hopefully I'll get at least the first sock done sometime in the near future, and then I'll get going on the second one and just kind of have those as my quick knit for when I want something really quick and easy and mindless to work on. I'm using 2.25 millimeter needles, or US size 1. That's my 2.25 is my basic go-to needle size for working on socks. It gives me just the right gauge for a 64 inch or a 64 stitch sock that fits just right in the vanilla type patterns. When it comes to lace and cables and things like that, I need to mull that over a bit more, what needle size I use and what what number of stitches I cast on. But for basic vanilla or basic ribbed sock, the 2.25 millimeter, just right. And my second work in progress is my Shawlography shawl by Stephen West. And this is a mystery knit along that probably most people are way farther along on this pattern than I am. Most of the people, or a lot of the people who worked on this pattern as the mystery knit along, a lot of them are done. I had a 2-week delay when the pattern first came out because I had just finished having my hand surgery, and I was almost 2 weeks behind when I was able to start. So I typically, with these mystery knit alongs, I'm never able to keep up. I just don't have enough free hours in the day, and I don't knit quickly enough to keep up and to finish a normal Stephen West shawl in 4 weeks. I can't do it. I don't have the hours, I don't have the time, and I don't have the speed to manage it. But I still love working on them. So I'm still on clue number 2. I was really hoping to be done clue number 2 today, or for today, but there was a lot of work-related things going on this week, and I just did not have the extra time to work on it as much as I had wanted and hoped to. So I am going to show it in just a second. I am going to put a spoiler alert up and let you know what time, if you don't want to see what the shawl looks like, if you're even farther behind than I am, which most people probably are not, and most people have probably already have seen what the shawl looks like by now. But I will still put a spoiler alert notice up, and I'll put a note what time it's safe to look back, so that you don't have the surprise spoiled if you are actually still farther behind than me. Oh, my yarn is tangled up with other guys over there. We go. So for this, I'm using Holst Super Soft in 5 different colors. I have 3 shades of purple, a light purple, then I have a medium and a dark purple, and I have this, forget what this one is called. It's not straw, lather, I think is the name of this color. Sweet Pea is the lightest purple, and the 5th color I have is kind of a brighter pink color. I don't recall what size needles, I don't have that written down. It's 3-point-something millimeter needles that I'm using for this. And right now I am starting section 7 of clue number 2. So each clue, the first clue had 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the first clue had 4 sections. The second clue has sections 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 9A and 9B, I guess you could call them. So I'm only on the first part of section 7. So as it stands now, I'm hoping to have clue number 2 finished next week. So I've only done 3 rows on section 7, and I think there's I'm going by memory, like there's 15 to 20 odd rows in section 7. So that's gonna take me a while yet to finish. But if you still want this to be a surprise, you can look away, and I'll let you know when it's safe to look back again, because I'm going to show what I've done. If you don't care, if you see what it looks like, you're not worried about it being kept a surprise, keep on watching. If I can get untangled. So here is where I am right now. Ugh, I'm all tangled up. So when you saw me last, I had finished section 1. I'd finished section 2, which were these wedges. Then I had also finished section 3 and section 4, these little I-cord loops. And I was at the end, I had finished the I-cord loops when I saw you last week. Since then, I did the slip stitch section, so section 5, and then I did these little welts. These are cute. It's an interesting texture. Somewhere along the line doing the welts, I picked up I had an extra stitch. I should have finished this off with 277 stitches. I had 278. I have no idea where the extra renegade stitch came from, but I just decreased in somewhere along the line and I fixed the problem. So the welts are done. And like I said, that was an interesting technique. I don't think I've done anything quite like that before. And it's kind of neat. And I've just done 3 rows on section 7. So I have a long way to go. I've done 2 rows. This one I will be using colors C and B. So the light purple and my cream color. So this one is not going to have stark contrast in it because my 2 colors there's not a huge amount of contrast between them. So they are going to be the ones that Stephen West refers to as being more of like a shadow effect than a crisp. These are the triangle sections, so it's not going to have crisp definition of those. So that's where I am right now. And hopefully, I'm hoping to have clue number 2 finished next week. So if you've been looking away because you're one of the few people that's farther behind than me and wants to keep this a surprise, I've stopped showing it. You're safe to look back now. So that's the extent of my knitting for the past week. I have not done any work on my Sunday cardigan, but now that the Ross hat is done, I think I'll start picking that up again soon because I hadn't wanted to do much work on that because it has the mohair yarn that I'm working with, and I just didn't want to risk getting little mohair fluffies in where the stitches were, or rough skin edges and things like that on my hand. So that's almost completely fixed up and is healing up really nicely. So I will show you now what my hand looks like after actually a month to the day. My surgery was on October 6th. Today is November 6th. So here we are 1 month later. It's looking good. It's going to leave a fair bit of a scar across this way, but the edges have smoothed out. There's very little rough edges of any sort left, and it's healing beautifully. I have less and less trouble making a good fist. I have a lot more mobility in my hand now. It does look red, but that's fine. But the mobility is improving all the time. I am still continuing to work on it so that I continue to improve the mobility on it, and it's healing up very nicely. On Tuesday, so in a couple days from now, I go in and see the surgeon again about having my trigger thumb on my right hand fixed, and that is tentatively scheduled for December 1st. So I'm hoping to get a good chunk of all of my knitting caught up between now and December 1st. so that when I'm out of commission, which again will be probably for about 2 weeks, I might be a little bit slower to get back into the knitting after I get the stitches out on this hand, because I have more movement and I do more things and need more control on my right thumb when I'm knitting than I do on my index finger on my left hand. That's mostly just where I have my yarn. The yarn is tensioning around my finger, and it's my other fingers that are helping to control the tension. And I don't have a lot of movement and things going on with my left hand, or with my, especially the index finger. So I am kind of concerned that potentially when I start up knitting again after surgery on my right hand, I'm concerned that that might make my tension wonky when I first start knitting again. So I might pick up and knit another hat. And that way, if the tension is wonky, it's not a big deal. And it's not going to have a major impact on a project I'm working on. I likely will not initially dive right back into working on existing projects, because I don't want there to be a difference in my gauge and my tension from before and after surgery. But we'll see. And what else do I have for future projects? Someone had asked me in the comments, I think last week, if I was considering doing Stephen West's Hybrid Knit Along that is coming out. I believe the pattern is available for sale, but you don't get the actual pattern until Christmas. I might be mistaken on that. But the knit along is, I believe, starts either the 25th or 26th of December. And I like the look of the pattern. I think it's a gorgeous pattern. And I'm seriously considering doing that one, because I am hoping that by Christmas, I really hope Shawlography is done by Christmas. It should be. I'm hoping my Sunday cardigan is done before Christmas. The Halloween socks, I'm not as worried about those. But for the time being, I am planning on just focusing on these 3 projects for the next, I guess it's 3 to 4 weeks before I go in for thumb surgery. So I'm really hoping to get at least 2 of the 3 finished between now and when I go in for getting my thumb fixed. And so if that's the case, I might go easy on what I cast on post-surgery, post-stitches coming out on my right hand. The stitches won't come out till 2 weeks after, so it'll be around the 13th or 14th, whatever the Tuesday is, 2 weeks after my surgery. So I won't be doing any knitting before I get the stitches out. So I will have a little bit of a break between when I get the stitches out and when the Hybrid Knit Along, I can't remember if that's actually the name of the pattern, when that comes of, or when that knit along starts. But I am seriously considering starting that, so we shall see. I'm also hoping to be able to play catch up on the Sock Madness Advent scarf that, as far as I know, will be coming out end of November, beginning of December. I haven't seen any new information about that, so I'm not 100% sure if that actually will be happening. I hope it does. But I will be 2 weeks behind on that one as well, when I'll be out of commission. So that is another project that I am hoping to cast on end of November, beginning of December. And I am thinking of the next Stephen West shawl pattern that's coming out. I am eyeing up the crescent shaped shawl. I like the look of that one more. It's more my my style and it's more my aesthetic and more what I prefer. I like the crescent shaped shawls. And I'm contemplating my color combinations. I think the pattern calls for one main color that is the foreground color and part of the stripes. And then there's several other colors that are the background colors. And I'm trying to decide if I want to just use a variegated, not variegated, but like a tonal or a gradient yarn in a few colors instead of using multiple different skeins. I'm still thinking about it. So either using a semi-solid tonal kind of color or creating a gradient colorway or multiple colors. I don't know. I don't know. But I am seriously contemplating that pattern. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm seriously contemplating it. So keep your eyes open over here to see if I actually do go ahead with it or if I change my mind. I suspect I'll probably give in to peer pressure and join the crowds working on that one. I'm also considering crocheting a scarf for a girl at our church that's going through a bit of a rough patch right now. So I am contemplating that. I'm thinking of doing that for her for a Christmas present. But I haven't decided on that 100% for sure yet or not. We'll see. That will be something that'll be relatively quick and relatively easy to do. Crocheting, I find, goes much faster than knitting does for me. So we shall see. But otherwise, I think that's about all. Yeah. We're getting closer to the Thanksgiving break at school. We only have a week or 2 weeks? A week and a half? 2 weeks to go? Yeah, I think we have 2 weeks left of classes before the Thanksgiving break. Yeah, 2 weeks of classes left. And then I'll have my annual Thanksgiving week Whip It Down. I'll tell you more about. I mentioned that a bit last week. I'll talk about it a bit more coming into the future, but it will be time when I zero in and do a lot of work on just a few of my whips and make sure I get as much as possible done on each of them every day. But I will explain a lot more about that in the future. So I'm really starting to ramble now. It's time for this girl to go and get this edited and get back to my shawlography. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me this week. Take care, and I will see you again next week. Bye.